You don't need to be the most technical, the most certified, or even have a data job to stand out, but you do need a strategy. I landed my first analyst role by combining two of the exact strategies I'm sharing in this video because the job market is competitive right now. Because even though data analytics is growing, more people are flooding into it because of it. But I'm on a mission to help 10,000 people break into data analytics. And if that's your goal too, subscribe now because I want one of them to be you. Because every week I share clear and practical strategies that will evolve with AI and the job market to make sure that you stand out. While researching for this video and just in general, I look at real stories of people who are getting hired, market data, and then recent hiring stats to figure out what is actually working right now and not just theory. So based on that, I've identified 5 strategies that can help you stand out and finally get traction inside your job search. So let's dive in. So strategy 1 is going to be contact first and then convert later. So a Redditor shared how they landed a full-time analyst role after starting 6 months in a contract data steward role. In just 3 months, they proved their value and the company brought them on permanently. So this isn't just a story. This is actually something that I've witnessed myself coming from a temp data entry position and then being brought back to cover for the accountant and then being brought back on other temp positions till eventually they found a position for me to work inside the company. And employees use that contract to hire as a trial run to see if they want to hire them full time. 74% of companies say that this reduces turnover according to SHRM. Here is the general strategy. What you want to do is look for contract roles, and it's often the fastest way to get it. Look for temp roles too if they have it, because what you can do is at least get the experience even if they don't take you on full time. And that's one of the biggest things that you need right now is the experience. Now, strategy 2, and this is going to sound like a broken record if you see my other videos, but that's because people still don't use this strategy. You want to have tailored outreach that will actually get you notice. So another Redditor shared that they got their first data job by tailoring the resume, cover letter for each role, and reaching out directly to the hiring manager with a project that matched their business. And then other stories like this show that it works. In my personal experience, one of the most competitive jobs is an A&R rep at a music agency, a music record company. When I was in college, the A&R rep came in and told us how she broke into getting one of the most competitive jobs out there. Basically, they are the people in charge of finding new talent, and then they get commission based on how successful that talent is. She broke into it because she was a intern at one of the biggest LA stations. She was out of a job. What she did from here is she just made mixtapes, got her resume, printed out a bunch of them, and then went to South by Southwest, which is one of the biggest music conferences and festivals out there. And then all of the big CEOs and people who make the big decisions will be there. So what she did is she knew that there was going to be one hotel where all of them stayed at. She did all of her research on the top executives that could make hiring decisions for this role. She didn't even know what role she was going for. And then she printed out her resume, she made a bunch of these mixtapes, and then she sat in the lobby and waited for all of them to come down, and she practiced an elevator pitch. And then she just hustled and met all of them, made her spiel, and then asked if they had any positions open. And then she heard back from 12 to 15, I forget the exact number of them. And then she interviewed for prestigious roles like A&R rep, which is one of the hardest roles to get. A 6-figure role that you can make millions off of, basically. From here, she was able to interview, go through tons of interviews. She had to pass, I think, like 12 deep interviews until she was one of the final candidates selected. So this is one of those things where you can personalize it, but you can go above and beyond the personalization to stand out from everyone else. So while this is advice that a lot of people repeat and say often, you'll be surprised at how many people do not do this, and they just send a generic one-size-fits-all resume. Just take 20 minutes, study the job description, and then align your story, your resume, and your portfolio pieces to their problems and their job description. Next, that brings us to strategy 3, which is going to be internal infiltration. So When you can't get a data analyst title, you don't need to start with one. You just need to be able to get a job within a company that has a data analyst title. So another Redditor shared, be open to any job at a company that has data, then start networking with the analytics teams until a spot opens up. And that's exactly what I did as well. I didn't network with the specific analytics team, but I networked with a team that had the data analysts there. And that's exactly what I did as well. I didn't network with specifically the analytics team. I was at a smaller company, but I networked with a lot of the directors, IT director, the lead directors of the teams that were being supported by data analysts, and then with the analysts themselves, so that I could learn as much and then start taking as much training. The accountant was having lunch trainings with Excel where I could learn more intermediate to advanced Excel formulas. And then I just did as much as I could do to learn and then ask questions from everybody. So that's what you want to do, is get in with support with whatever role that you can, support, operations, and admin role. Then you want to learn the business, learn the systems, ask as many questions as you can, put yourself out there, and then tell people what you want to do. Tell them that you want to get into analytics. People will be more willing to help you and mentor you. And then when a spot opens up, you will become one of the first choices, a no-brainer choice for people to recommend. And that's what exactly happened to me. Next strategy, strategy 4, freelance to full-time path. So again, this is based on a lot of different stories that I read. So instead of applying endlessly, what if you worked your way into that job by freelancing first? So you have sites like Upwork, Contra, Fiverr, and then where there are full businesses looking for help with spreadsheets, dashboards, survey data, data science, data analytics. And another Redditor described how they took on a few dashboard products for small clients, built up the case studies, and then used those exact results to pitch a full-time role. Here, it's low stakes. You also get real experience while you're trying to build up your portfolio. And then it turns that portfolio into actual real achievements, which I believe is the most important thing about a resume, is being able to filter and just have it skimmable for your achievements is going to get you in for an interview more than the rest of your resume. Everything else, if you can write these 5 at the top, it'll make you stand out significantly more. And then they'll talk about the rest of your resume based on my experience of deliberations of who we wanted to bring in for candidates to interview after filtering across many interviews and video interviews. And then the last strategy, strategy 5, is you want to tap into your alumni networks. This is one that I thought was genius and I didn't think about it before, but another Redditor talked about use your college alumni directory, ask people in relevant fields to chat, ask what business problems they need to be solved with analytics. You can take this a step further, go to any of the, if you're in school or graduated within data analytics, go back to school, go back to your business department, your analytics department, your data science department, and then go to office hours, because most of those professors are bored and most students do not come to office hours. So if you can come to office hours and start networking that way, and then ask if you can take on any roles or any projects for them. Is there any networks, or do they know anybody inside the network who needs a freelance, a free data analyst for me to build up my resume, because the job market is tough? I'm just trying to get any real projects that show that they're solving real business problems. And I'm pretty sure you've heard all the stats that networking works. Boston University has found that 70 to 80% of jobs are filled through referrals or networking. And then applicants with alumni connections are 80% more likely to land relevant roles. Now, if you watch this far, thank you. It tells me that you are serious about getting a high paying data analyst position or analyst equivalent position, but maybe you feel stuck doing it alone. So that's why I'm launching a private community called Get a Data Job Accelerator, and I'm looking for our first 20 founding members. But now, as a founding member, you'll get my personal help plus a say in shaping the community around what you actually need, so that we have accountability, motivation completely free. I want to build a community that I wish I had and that I wish I have now to help me reach the goals that I have in general. All I ask is that you stay active, give me your honest feedback so that together we can build the best data community out there. Again, this isn't for everyone. It's going to be for the people who are motivated and ready to take action now. And if that's you, click on the link in the description below to apply. I'll be reviewing every application personally and be reaching out to the first 20 people who are the best fit. Also, Big thank you for everyone who already applied. I'm working on the finishing touches of the community, and we'll send out the emails for those who made it by next week, Wednesday. So I'll be releasing new videos on every Wednesday, so I'll release the email at the same time as the next video. So thank you for your patience. Excited to work with you all who get accepted. Here's the catch. None of that works if your portfolio looks like everyone else's. In the next video, I'll show you exactly what portfolio projects hiring managers want to see today and how to build them with AI so that they stand out fast. Watch that next, and I'll see you in the next video. And until next time, query responsibly and watch this video.